finally trying to work out the bugs of the dual camera system. Tested it all out on Saturday, and now I'm still having some different issues. So waiting on pulling up the TikTok chat. I can't see anybody in TikTok yet, but I can see YouTube. Hey Double, and hey, writing is fun. You said, are you working on the pattern too? Yes, I am working on, I will be doing this, working on the crochet along again today. I'm just working on making a few little things of yarn for myself while I'm sitting here waiting for my TikTok chat to be activated. So if anyone's in TikTok, I'll be there in a second, or I think you might be able to see me already. Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna need terracotta, and I'm just working on making a couple of balls of yarn because I know that's gonna come up here in the next couple rows, and I just want to make sure I've got plenty of those ready to go. So linen black, terracotta black, linen, and terracotta. Okay, so I already know I need to go ahead and make myself another ball of terracotta. I'm going to need that. Hey, we just got some feedback. The music is too loud in YouTube. It's overpowering my voice. Thank you. We finally got everything set up through Restream, and so we thought everything was good. Am I live on TikTok right now? Okay. I don't, this does not show, this says I'm offline. The TikTok chat says I'm offline. Hey, writing is fun over there in YouTube. Can you let me know if the music is better now? It just disappeared. TikTok disappeared altogether. Now writing is fun says, I'm working on my 9th row. The music is gone. So music has been turned off and I have no TikTok at all. He said, and it's back. Technology work. Yeah, I know. That's all we want too. I mean, why can we come and test this? So I don't have a TikTok chat. I'll tell you if I see it come back up. But yeah, we come in Saturday, actually tested this, went live, did everything. Everything's working perfectly. Make 0 changes. Walk away, come back, things are not working again. I don't understand. And I don't see anyone else struggling with this. So I don't know what the deal is. All right, so that's another ball. That's gonna be, I think this ball is probably gonna be the one that's gonna come up for the pot here, which hopefully I'll get started, oops, on the pot tonight. Let me go ahead and make another ball of linen. I know, writing is fun says, TikTok, we miss Little Bird. I agree, I'm sure Karen's over there. Yeah, I'm not comfortable getting started on this until I know everything's up. Did you have a good weekend writing? We did. We ran a bunch of errands and got a bunch of stuff done, which was awesome. And took my son. Hey, Karen. Okay, Karen's over here on YouTube. Thank you. We're having huge issues with TikTok tonight. Usually, the issues are with YouTube. But it says we're streaming to TikTok, but everything that I'm seeing says I'm offline. Can we just stream straight through TikTok Studio? Oh, that's right. Now we can't because we only have the one. We got the 2 camera systems, and I only have one pointing at everything. Well, It was busy. I'm almost out of school, 2 weeks left. I do remember those days. Honestly, I miss school so much. I enjoyed school a lot. I really enjoyed it because I understood it. I loved learning, and I definitely was one of those kids. I'm definitely a nerdy kid, so loved learning, loved hanging out with my couple of friends. Again, didn't have a huge friend group or anything, but I did have a good time, and I was always sad when school was out, and I always really liked it when school was in. It always seemed like summer was going to be so much fun, but it was never exactly what I thought it was going to be. All right. So, I'm not really sure what to do from here. Okay. All right, so guys, we're going to go ahead and try to end this stream real quick and restart it. There's something going on. We're using Restream. So it's supposed to be streaming to YouTube and TikTok, which is why I now have a camera facing me and a camera looking down, because we used to have the two cameras because we would stream through the YouTube and TikTok studio. So Restream is back up and it's having connectivity issues. So we're going to go down for a minute. We'll be right back. See you here in a few. Me and only one channel streaming. Now it says 0 people watching and still just the one channel. Shorter days and a shorter summer. Are we live again already? Okay. All right, we're back up. Still not sure if we have TikTok. I don't think we do. What happens when you go to my TikTok channel? It shows not live? Oh, so I am live on TikTok. Okay. If anyone is over there on TikTok, if you can let me know if you can hear and see me, that would be great. We were having some issues earlier, and I have no idea of what you were able to hear and see earlier, if anything. So let me know. We got a new camera set up tonight, so you can see all the faces I make it myself. And we're also just trying to make sure this works. So is there anybody on TikTok? If so, go ahead and comment for me if you don't mind. I do want to get started on this, but I don't want to start on this if we're having issues. Or maybe I should anyways, since it all saves. As long as it's on YouTube, I guess. Okay. Are you able to see and just confirm that I am live on YouTube before I get started on this? Sorry. Sorry, guys. All right. I'm getting no comments at all. Can anybody comment who's over there? Writing is fun. I see your old comment that says, school has worn me down over the years. I wish there were shorter days and a shorter summer. I hear that our school district, many years ago when I was in school, they were considering doing year-round school. And I want to say it was 2 months on and like a week or two. It was something like that. And I think the parents had to fit. Now, as a parent myself, I don't even know how you would deal with childcare for a schedule like that, but it sounded so cool. Okay, Mr. Double A sees I'm back. It's muted. He can't hear me. Writing is fun. It says, is it supposed to be muted? Is TikTok working? It's not supposed to be muted. Is YouTube muted? I can see my camera's working. Okay, we've got other people. All right, well, I'm just gonna get going. Writing, I'm not muted. I can see my camera's working. My husband just hopped on too. He saw on his side, he can hear me. So, and it looks like TikTok's working now too. So I'm just gonna get started so I don't wait too long here. I am getting started on row 8 of the tapestry. Almost said Floral Fantasia giveaway blanket. I feel like every time I'm talking about that, I'm announcing this giveaway blanket. So, tapestry blanket, non-giveaway. Oh, writing is fun says, YouTube lied to me. I left and came back. All right, good. I'm glad you can hear. We were testing on our end and we could hear it. Thank goodness. So, all right, if anybody is over there on TikTok, could you pop into TikTok and just look at the chat and see if anyone has commented? I just want to make sure I'm not, because I'm not getting any TikTok comments in here at all. So if they are commenting, I can't see them. And there are commenting. All right, guys. TikTok chat is down. For whatever reason, my restream is only showing me my YouTube stuff. So I can only see, if you're sending gifts or anything, thank you, thank you. I can't see anything right now. All right, I'm going to start round 8, or row 8. Row 8 starts with 5 terracotta. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Writing, I think earlier you said, oh my gosh, I feel hobbled not being able to see who's talking. I think you said earlier you are on row 9 now. Yes, you're working on your 9th row. That's very cool. So you're ahead of me right now. Let's see if I can catch up at all. So 5 terracotta. Next is 70 linen, since this whole thing is only 80 stitches wide. If I do 5 here and 5 here, it stands to reason that these in the center will be 70. So I'm not going to sit and count 70 stitches because I've been crocheting for a really long time, and it's very rare for me to drop a stitch anymore. So I had counted this already once. I'll count it every few rows, especially when I'm working on a section that has a large amount of the same thing going on, you know, where you're just repeating the same thing over and over. On those, I typically won't count. And then when I get to the rows where there's less things, or more color changes, excuse me, and less monotony, those, it's easy to tell if your count is off. Either your stitches start to look off, like maybe your pattern shifts over by a stitch, or you get to the end and you find you have one extra or one too few. Let me see if I can... Is it possible for me to look at my own thing? You figured it out? Okay. All right, my husband figured out a workaround so we can get the chat over here so I can see what's going on in TikTok too. All right, 70. We just got to get through these 70, and then how many rows do I have like this? 3 rows of these little simple buddies today. Okay, Aaron can hear and see. Lil Rascal can hear. Okay, you guys, thank you so much. Oh yeah, Aaron, thank you for saying that. TikTok chat's not showing on my end. I don't know what is going on, man. It's so frustrating, and I hate it because you get everything set up, and then when you walk away, when you come back, what has changed? Like how does that happen? I work in QuickBooks a lot. I think I've mentioned before, I'm an accountant. So I work in QuickBooks all the time, and they're constantly making changes to the software. But there will be days that we'll log in and all of a sudden something tiny is just not displaying correctly. And you have to call them and they have to fix some bug on their end. But it's like, how did that piece of code suddenly start doing something different than what it used to do in the past? So I don't understand it. It was really interesting when, you know, because I was in high school when internet, like having a home computer became less and less of a really cool thing. Not everybody had them. We didn't have one for years either, but it wasn't like unheard of for somebody to have a home computer. And then, so I really grew up with technology and everything changing. All right, Lil Rascal says, I'd love to do this tapestry with you as well. However, I guess we'll have to wait for a tutorial. So Lil Rascal, if you have a YouTube account, everything here is streaming in, YouTube, so, and in TikTok simultaneously, and all of my lives save in YouTube. So you could get the colors or whatever. This is the one we started last Friday. You could go get what you needed and get caught up really easy. All we've done so far is the first couple of rows. I'm getting ready to work on I'm finishing up row 8 right now, so I don't think it would take too long to catch up. And you can use whatever colors you want too. So this is totally customizable. I saw somebody else doing a pink border and it looked really cool. So I don't know if they're doing a pink flower pot too or what, but I'm interested to see how that works out. All right, so row 8 was 5 terracotta, 70 linen, 5 terracotta. And if you guys use different colors than what I'm using, then you'll just have to do the conversion in your own head. All right, I've got the wrong side facing me. I know it's the wrong side for 2 reasons. One, I've left a few strings here for myself so that I can see easily what the wrong side is. As I work further into the project, I will weave those ends in, but I'll start at the bottom and always leave a couple of ends for me to easily identify the wrong side. And the other thing is, in this pattern, the even rows are always the wrong side. So that's only important to know so that you know whether or not you are putting your yarn to the front or back of your work when you do color changes or add in new yarn balls. Writing is Fun says, I have to go look at the sunset. That's amazing. I'm lucky that you're getting a gorgeous sunset to look at. I love the sky. My daughter loves the sky too. She's like takes all these really cool Snapchat pictures of it. All right, row 8 is done, you guys. I am getting ready to start row 9. I am doing the left to right. So I pick up my work on the left and I flip it over. That way my yarn balls stay in the right order and I just have to rearrange the baskets. Right now, I've only got 3 balls of yarn going. So I'm going to keep my 3 different baskets of yarn. When I get more, I'll just add into these. But for now, they can each have their own basket. So row 8 is done. Row 9 is exactly like row 8. 5 terracotta for the border stitches, 70 linen, 5 terracotta for the border. So I'm going to start row 9 and bust this out. I want to get into some of the other balls of yarn, especially to see if people have questions about tapestry. I feel like it's one of those things that until you see it happening, you might not even really know what to ask. Oops. This is the wrong side of my work. I almost put my yarn in front. I finished that baby blanket that I did the other day, or that I started showing videos of, and that I had started doing during one of my lives, the mosaic one. I went ahead and finished that out this weekend. I had 7 whips, and that's like an insane amount to me, especially when all I make is blankets, right? If I had 7 whips and they were something small, it wouldn't be that big of a deal, but to have 7 blankets in progress is crazy. So I got that one done. What I haven't done yet is the envelope border. I'm going to do a whole video on that because I've had a lot of questions about that, but yay, Writing is Fun is back. How's that sunset? But one of my videos went a little viral on YouTube. It has, last time I checked, just under 400,000 views. Okay, so as I'm recording these little transitions, right? So it's one of those things where you hold the blanket and you let it drop. You know, it's every 10 rows I was going in and doing a drop reveal like that. And then I was adding them all together. Anyways, so I was recording everything through TikTok. And I guess TikTok puts a little touch filter, or is that what it's called? Beauty filter or something on your face, which I didn't know about. And I didn't know until I started getting comments about, has anyone seen her face? Or why are you using that filter? You don't need it. And I'm like, what in the heck? So I go watch the video closely, and my face is doing this weird herky-jerky thing, like smiling and not smiling. Go look at it. If you're on YouTube or on TikTok, you can also see them. And okay, so I didn't even notice this. I don't think that anyone said anything until I'm like 7 videos into this, right? And like 3 or 4 of the videos have those little filters on it. Again, I had no clue it was there. If I wanted a filter, if I was really looking to touch up my face or feel better about myself, I probably would have actually looked at my face before I posted the video. That's how little I actually was paying attention to my face. I was like, this was a thing about crochet, and I was more making sure that you could see everything in my pattern. So anyways, I got my very first taste of some mean comments. I had to deal with that this weekend. I don't know. I'm just like a normal person. And so it makes me feel bad. It's just crazy to me. So, when I see people saying mean things to other people, or how people gotta always comment and have something stupid to say. I've never paid attention to how hurtful that could be. And I don't go like make comments like that. It's not my place, and I don't care. Like, I don't care if someone's eyebrow is wonky. That's their thing. And there's no point in teasing somebody over that kind of stuff. But yeah, I learned a lesson this morning. That kind of stuff really did hurt. So Writing is Fun said, it's a rainy day, so the clouds were nearly a sheet of solid shining. Oh my gosh, shining yellow to orange, orange to purple, purple to blue, blue to pink. You should take a picture of that. That sounds like gorgeous colors for a blanket or a mosaic thing. All right, I'm just going to do out my last 5 stitches of row 9, and then we're off to row 10. For those of you who are watching this later, so if this is not live and you're catching the saved video, the pattern, excuse me, is right here. I've got it in front of me, but it's in my YouTube posts, and it's linked in my bio in TikTok. Although if you're watching this saved, you're on YouTube anyway. So the pattern, the written pattern's there. But if you prefer just to be told what to do, then you get to listen to me babble. All right, doing my turn. Turning, doing the yarn basket move. And we're going to start row 10. Row 10 is just like row 9, 5 terracotta, 70 linen, 5 terracotta. This is the last row like this. Writing is Fun says, if you can, ignore it. They're plain wrong. You've proven to be very kind and very helpful. You know, actually, I actually thought of a few things that you had said, different comments you've made over the time, where I'm like, okay, people are just weird and mean. And at the end of the day, it's engagement, I guess. So I was like, I'm just going to let it ride. I was really, really tempted to delete the video. But then I was like, no, because then I'm just being weak, and really I'm just going to sit in my discomfort for a little bit and get used to it, right? It's all about training our neural pathways to do things that we're uncomfortable with, or sit in situations that make us uncomfortable. I'm kind of a high stress person, and so I've recently also been trying to train myself to react to stress a little bit better. Not everything has to be a life or death situation. So I'm like retraining my body now that I'm not going to die. So I just sat in the discomfort of that video. But for anybody who saw it and wondered about my filter and why I let that go on so long, how I posted so many videos, it's truly because I just didn't even look at my face. Wasn't interested in it. I didn't realize there was a retouch filter. It doesn't like show you that when you're recording. I did find a place to turn it off though. So hopefully that doesn't happen again. All right. Over there in TikTok, how are you all doing tonight? I almost said y'all. You guys, I lived in the South for 3 years, and y'all is the word that I miss the most. I'm back in Colorado, so I have to say you guys again. How are you guys doing? I lived in the inland Northwest and the Pacific Northwest for much of my formative years. And so I've heard a lot now on TikTok when you learn about different sayings or different things. Like some people in the South call every kind of soda a Coke. It's all a Coke. Everything's a Coke. What kind of Coke do you want? I want a Dr. Pepper. So that was an interesting thing to learn out there. Same with, I grew up calling it pop, but then changed to soda in my young adult life when I first moved to Colorado. Nobody out here said pop. So I just love learning little things like that. All these different things about us. And I think that's one of the things I love about TikTok and YouTube and things like that. Those are primarily the two pieces of media that I access. So I have learned a lot about different people, different cultures, different groups, so many things where I'm like, wow, I really misunderstood this before. So it's always fun to learn new things. Writing is fun says, so do rules, no pop. Oh, you are so strong and hard-willed to work on yourself in these manners. Yeah, well, yeah. I also went to therapy. I don't want to make it sound like I'm this totally amazing person. I don't want to take that credit. I had a really good therapist who also worked with me. So just bringing up all the little therapy things I learned over the years. I'm not going to waste that money. So when things get rough, I go back to my little tools. All right, so I'm going to do the last final 5 stitches of row 10 right here. Writing is fun. Are you working on this right now, or are you Hey Erin, thank you for the likes. Are you working on this right now, or are you working on something different right now? Going to therapy is a big step, and utilizing it is genuinely amazing. Yes. Yes, I chose to go to therapy. It wasn't, something forced on me. And I do know a lot of people have to go to therapy when they really don't want to. So I can't comment on how that might feel. But I can tell you that I went 20 years too late, but I went. And now I'm better than everyone around me. All right, last look at her before we start adding some stuff. I think we're gonna get the bottom of the pot going today. So starting row 11, this is where there's gonna be more color changes. So I will try to be, all right, writing is fun, has yarn out and hook and everything. Very good, very good. So, all right, I will try to remember to say all the colors and numbers of stitches as I go along for those of you who are following patternless. Here we go. Row 11 starts with 5 terracotta. Okay, and 28 linen. Well, you guys have to count numbers like that. So I don't know why. Counting to 28 sounds awful. So I just count to 14 like this. 1, 1, 2. Oh, come here, buddy. 2, 3, 3. Does that make sense? So I count. It doesn't feel as horrible as doing 28 stitches, although I don't know why 28 stitches sounds so bad either. Does anyone else, do you guys ever play games with yourself like that, or try to psych yourself out when you have a large numbers to count, especially on those floral fantasia type things? Sometimes it's like count 75. Oh my Lord, it's a lot of counting. All right, where are we at here? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, counting by twos, I have 8, so 16. 2 times 8 is 16. 17, 18, 19, 20, and I needed to do 28. 21, 22, 23, 24. Okay, and so as much as I said a million times, I don't have to count anything because I'm just an amazing person who never has to count anything. Actually, I'm going to stop and count because I am placing my first colors. I am laying my first stitch, and I don't want it to be off at all. So I just double check my work here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 2, 4, 6, 8. When I say that I don't have to count as much, I'm usually actually just referencing if I've already previously counted a certain number of stitches and I'm just crocheting into those stitches. I don't usually have to count because I don't drop stitches. But when I'm adding colors and stuff, absolutely, counting is a necessity. So I got my first color coming in, and it's a black. I'm gonna put this one over here in the completed basket. This middle basket becomes my working basket. This basket is the yarn that comes into play later. So let's add in this black, and we're going to do 14 stitches of black. So just undid my last linen stitch so I could set it up to add in the black. Give myself, is this an even or an odd row? This is an odd row. Yarn goes to the back. Watch your rows, guys. If it's if it's an odd row, the right side is facing you and your yarn goes to the back. If it's an even row, the wrong side is facing you and your yarn goes to the front. Now, when I've just placed this yarn, I did hold my black string in front just so I could hold it in place. Now I'm going to scooch him back. I'm going to put in a few stitches to secure the yarn that I just joined before I stop and tie this off. I don't want to tie anything up yet. I don't want there to be too much wiggle room in either the linen or the black, because if it's too loose and you tighten it too hard, you can disappear a stitch. So now that I've got my yarn, my black in, and I've done a few stitches, I just flipped this over to the other side and I'm just tying the black to the linen. Just a quick double knot. Make sure I can still see both of my stitches here at the top. Make sure you can. Make sure you can. Where's my hands? And I can see them both. Okay, so I need to do 14 black, and I have 4. This little throw is so tiny. I'm not used to working with patterns as small. I think I've mentioned it before, but I've definitely decided I am going to make 3 more panels with a houseplant motif so I can stitch them together and make a large houseplant themed throw. So that's what I've definitely decided to do. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Whoa, I went too far. Holy crap. All right, and then we're back with another 28 linens. It's a good sign if I had 28 linen and then my black and then 28 more linen. That means this is nice and even. And now I have to get another linen. So this is where you've got your option, guys. When I've talked before about carrying your yarn, I've got the right side of the thing facing me right now. Is everything okay? Okay, so I've got the right side of the blanket facing me, but if this were the back side of the blanket, oh, hey, Angel. Hey, thank you so much for the heart me. I'm sorry, I was just chatting away, and I've got kind of a weird setup tonight. TikTok, of course, is not streaming the proper way, so I've got multiple things going on, but you guys can see that, you can see my face this time because we get a new camera system. So, writing is fun says, I will draw out and repeat the number until I finish the stitch. Good, so you you play games with yourself too. All right, so here's where we have our option. Thank you for the likes too, Angel, I appreciate it. This is where we have the option of either carrying the yarn. So I can carry this linen over here, pick it up. Now I would of course carry it in the back of my work. I wouldn't carry it in the front of my work, but this is just for demonstration purposes. Pick it up and keep going. And then I would have a linen stitch, like a piece of yarn across the back of my work. If you do this, make sure it's all along the back of your work. This is one way to not have to use as many balls of yarn as I'm about to use. I'm working on a reversible project, so I will be weaving in my ends and I don't want to carry yarn across. So I'm doing it the difficult way. You do not have to do it this way. You can just carry it if that's what you are comfortable with. For me, I'm going to attach a new linen, and now I will have 2 linen balls of yarn attached to my project. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so I'm going to finish out my final black stitch by bringing in the new linen stitch. I'm giving myself at least 7 inches of yarn at my end because I know I'm going to need 4 or 5 inches for weaving in, and you just sometimes you don't know, and I'd rather play safe than sorry. I really hate when I cut a string too short and I'm like, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this now? Okay, so You saw me change my color, and then you saw me work a few stitches. Again, that is to secure the new yarn in place and make sure I'm not about to do anything funky when I tie my knot back here, and I'm being careful not to tie too tight. Hi Dana, good to see you over there. Okay guys, so we've got 28 linen stitches to do on this side. The nice thing is, the last thing I have to do on this row is my 5 stitches in terracotta. So I just know I just got to finish out this row in linen until I get to the border. And that's another beauty of having border stitches like that, is you can see on your pattern that the count is right. I won't have to count and make sure I didn't drop anything within here. I feel like the place where people drop stitches mostly is at the beginning and ends of a row. So I haven't yet been marking off the different colors as I finish them, because there just hasn't been anything complicated enough for me to have to do that. But I think on the next round or row, I will probably actually need to keep track of where I'm at. Got enough lines in here that, and my eyes are getting old enough. All right. So just to recap, row 11 was 5 terracotta, 28 linen, 14 black, 28 linen, 5 terracotta. And that completes row 11. Let's giddy up and do row 12. I don't know if you guys see this, I always keep like a little tool basket with a hair thingy in it in case I'm desperate to pull my hair back. You know that feeling where, like, if you don't have lotion or something, you know, whatever you don't have access to, it's all of a sudden this real problem. Like, I have my water here. I'm gonna take a drink. The other night I forgot to bring my water with me, and my mouth started getting so dry, and I felt like everyone could hear my throat clicking. But turns out nobody said anything. So, all right, I just flipped. I'm gonna grab up my baskets, resort them. Now everything's lined up, and get started. So row 12, I'll say the instructions, I'll do it, and then I'll repeat them at the end. Row 12 is 5 terracotta, 25 linen, 4 black, 12 terracotta, 4 black, 25 linen, and 5 terracotta. Writing is fun, says I do understand all too well. Yes. So just because if I keep my hair tie here, I will never need it. If I don't, all of a sudden, all the moisture will suck out of this room and I'll have static everywhere. All right, so I'm going to start with my 5 terracotta. This particular skein of terracotta feels thinner. Some of these Hobby Lobby, I mean, any skein of yarn you get from, especially budget yarn, there always runs the risk of it not being amazing. I really liked Hobby Lobby's yarn. It's been the most consistent. I like it way better than the stuff I got at Michael's, but every once in a while, and they get a skein and it feels like they dropped a whole thread out of it or something. All right, now we have 25 linen. On my last row, I only had to do 28 linen. So if it's telling me to do 25 this time, pretty easy for me to tell when I hit my 25 is when I am 3 short of running into the black down here. So that's another thing I like with Tapestry. If you can remember what you did in the rounds prior, or the rows prior, sometimes you just don't have to count as much because you can see how everything lines up. You know what though, because this linen, this ball of linen is so much plumper than my ball of terracotta. It's causing weird issues. Oh, I'm sure it'll block out. These flat blankets, I think, can sometimes be almost harder to make them look nice than doing those really fancy ones that I do with all the different stitch types and stuff, because these right here will really call you out. If you've got any sort of tension issues, or if your work is uneven, you could totally see it in a project like this. I mean, sometimes you can see it even when it's not supposed to be there. And then there's still gonna be some stretching, right? Like as you're holding it and gripping it, like stuff stretches out, which is why we block at the end. Sometimes when I block stuff at the end, you guys, all I do is just wash it. So if you've got washable yarn, usually washing will fix it. And if it's something that needs to be stretched out to have a crisp edge, like granny squares or something, then I would block those after they've been washed. But usually washing will kind of seize all the fibers back up and make them play nicer. All right. Now we have 4 black. I'm going to pick up my black that's already attached. This is the wrong side again. You guys, the wrong side of the work is facing me, which means I'm going to pull my yarn in front. I have to do 4 stitches in black. My black is 3 stitches away from me, so I am going to drag my black over and use this existing black string, but I am going to, because I have 3 stitches, I need to do 4 black, but there's 3 linen stitches I have to crochet over. I'm just crocheting over that black string to hide it, so you can't even tell it's been carried. All right, there's my 4 black. Oops, you get in your own basket, buddy. Get over there, get over there. And now we have 12 terracotta. So grab my next ball of terracotta and work on the pot. Let's add him in real quick. Give me a minute. 12. All right, and I feel like I always do like 4 stitches, even if I don't have 4 stitches of the next color to do. When I'm adding one in, I feel like 4 is the number that my mind has settled on. Hey, Crafty Anna, good to see you. Anna, wink, wink. Thank you for the wink. So glad to see you. We're just working on this tapestry crochet along. Had some technical issues earlier, which are always fun. So if you guys do want to catch up, especially over there on TikTok, if you want to catch up on the tapestry crochet along, YouTube saves all my lives. And that's why, especially tonight, I was like, I cannot move forward until I know that YouTube is working properly. So you can go catch up on YouTube. I've got the same username in both places. All right, so 12, we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, and move him. And 4 more black, and I will be adding in yet another black, because the black that I've already used so far is now going to be going up this side of the pot, and so I need a black ball of yarn to go up this side of the pot. If you're doing the yarn carry method that we talked about, just grab your black that's on this side of the pot and carry it over, pick it up. So if you're going to be not working with a reversible project, then you're welcome to just drag these strings over. Don't worry about having a million balls of yarn like I'm about to have. And even the black is puffier than the terracotta. What is going on? That skein didn't feel so weird until I started using it on this tapestry. All right, so 4 stitches, black 4, linen 25, and then terracotta 5. All right, so I'm not going to holler out the instructions anymore for the rest of this round. For those of you that are following along on the saved video, by the way, thank you for doing that too. I got a lot of views on my last live that we started on Friday, and I appreciate that. All right, so 25 linen. Oh gosh, dang. Okay. So I got to do 25 linen, but my linen is behind. Let's see. It's way back here, and I need it to be up here. So I'm actually going to undo these 4 stitches that I did in black, since it's only a couple. So I just had to undo 3 of them, and I'm going to bring the linen up along the ridge of my work here, and then I'm going to rework these 3 black stitches that I had to take out. And that is how I am carrying my linen over without having an actual piece of yarn dragging across and ruining my reversible picture. Crafty Anna says, I'm up to the first row of black, worked on it this weekend. Oh, very cool. How are you liking it so far? I was gonna ask what you thought of the pattern, but it's not hard to I don't know. These it's not like these patterns are very difficult to follow. It's one thing I love about these is it's just numbers and colors. And you guys, if you're seeing my face at all, because now we have that option, I'm looking over here because all of my chats are over here, and Writing is Fun said the terracotta felt self-conscious, so it lost some weight. I wonder if you can see, there's no way you're going to be able to see that in the cameras. I wonder, it's almost a feeling thing, but it just feels wimpier. Anna, we're going to be doing 3 more of these. So when this one is getting close to being done, and I was looking, you guys, I think it's probably going to be 2 to 3 weeks, just because we're only doing this for an hour a night. If my internet works or if my YouTube stuff works properly. But and I'm also going really slow with this. So this is not a difficult pattern by any means, but I think it will probably take a couple weeks, and then I will have another one ready to go if anyone wants to do that one too when we're done. All right, let me whip out these last 5 stitches. I'm also getting ready to film because I'd made a mosaic pattern. I'm going to go through and do the pattern first, make sure there's nothing, because I've never written a mosaic pattern. Like tapestry pattern, I didn't even test this pattern. I'm using stitch fiddle, so it's pretty hard to screw up on that anyways. But mosaic is a little bit different, so I'm going to go through probably and test the pattern that I wrote. It's going to be a big square blanket, and it says, please go away. It's really cute. I think it's cute. So I'm going to test that pattern, and then probably put out a pattern testing call if anybody wants to do that. But I'm also going to make some videos on how to do it. And so I'm trying to decide if I probably just record just like I do here, but just make long form videos. Okay, we got that flipped. We are ready to start round 13. It's 7:18. We got plenty of time to do another one. All right, so row 12 that I just finished, for those of you watching, just to recap, was 5 terracotta, 25 linen, 4 black, 12 terracotta, 4 black, 25 linen, and 5 terracotta. So I'm getting ready to do row 13, which is 5 terracotta, 24 linen, 2 black, 18 terracotta, 2 black, 24 linen, 5 terracotta. And the written pattern is in my posts on YouTube and in my bio in TikTok. Go grab it up. It's free. All right, so if this is 5 terracotta, 24 linen. Last time I had to do 25 linen. Okay, so this will be easy. Just gonna stop 1 stitch short. I'm working on an odd numbered row. So that means the front of my work is facing me. So I'm going to pull all of my yarn to the back. I can't wait to get into the leaves, although I know it's going to be color change galore. I love doing that kind of stuff. When you can finally see the picture coming together is the best. Writing is fun. How did I miscount 28? The same way we all miscount 28. You've seen enough of my life. Sometimes I have a hard time counting 3. But really, in my defense, the other pattern, actually, no, that's not even, never mind. My defense doesn't work. I was gonna say the other pattern was more complicated, but it really wasn't, because I was still just in the shoe part. And I still was struggling to count properly, so. Also, I'm over here yakking away and throwing out numbers. It's probably my fault. Okay, got my linen, 2 black, go in here. I can't wait to see. I need to find a way to be able to see some of you guys' projects. Put my black over here because it's done. I'd like to see these as they're being worked on, and then when they're done, I would definitely love to see it. All right, let me mark off what I've done so far so I don't get lost. Okay, 18 terracotta. You can see me adjusting some of these strings. Just trying to make sure that when I switch colors, switching colors is where you're going to find your ugliest spots. And there's no way around it. Doesn't matter how many times you've done this, that's where those little ugly spots are going to be. So I always just try to make sure that my strings are tight without being overly tight. There's nothing loose or looping or drooping. And then also make sure it's not too tight because you can actually pucker your work. Writing is fun says, definitely my own fault. I listen to videos while I crochet. I'll post some of my projects tonight after the live. Yay! I subscribed to you on YouTube, so I should be notified if you post a thing. I'd like to see your progress. I want to see all these hamsters. I'm still obsessed with the hamsters that you make. The sheer number, the hamster army that you have going on. Oops, come on. Yeah, this yarn is this. And this is a skein that I used to make the second giveaway blanket. So this is the remaining part of the Vibes blanket skein. I just don't remember it feeling this thin. But I also wasn't, I was working it in its own round. It wasn't intermixed with some of these thicker yarns. So, all right, so I need 18 terracotta, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 2 black. Where are you, black? Come here, buddy. Oh, that's right. He's way over there. I got to pull a few of these stitches out. I want to run him under the remainder of my terracotta stitches, my black string, so that I can pick it up right where the terracotta ends without having any of my yarn dragging over. All right, let's just recount. Make sure I still have 18, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 2, 4, 6, and this would be 8 if I finished this stitch. Okay, so 2 black. And 24 linen. Oh, I'm having to get more baskets. 24 linen. I'm trying to, oops, crap. I just started doing more black. Silly. The very first one of these that I did. All right. I've actually really messing myself up over here thinking about the first thing that I did. Let's pick this up. There we go. There we go. I had pulled over my terracotta. I had intentionally said I was going to cover the stitches, and then I didn't, and that's why that looked wrong. Okay, now you go away. So the first tapestry of these that I did, I didn't have any clue what I was going to do with yarn management. I had seen several videos, but I hadn't seen anyone using baskets. So I don't know if anyone else has seen this or done this. I can't imagine I'm the only person who ever thought of this. Honestly, it would be weird. But I've never seen anyone manage it with baskets. And so for a while, I've tried using these clips, which didn't work for me. And then for a while, I just had all of the yarns kind of laid out. But I had to sit in my bed to work on it because I needed all this area. And everything had, like, if my husband came in the bedroom, I was like, don't get anywhere near the bed. I just couldn't have all those yarns tangling. It was horrible to pick up and put away. And then for this work that I'm doing here on these videos, we ended up getting, this is just like a poster board thingy, like a presentation board. And it's perfect. It's like a huge workstation or work table. This is the most amazing thing. So probably any tapestries I do will be done in this chair, whether I'm filming or not. And sometimes like I would sit at my desk because I work from home. So I'd sit at my desk and have all my yarn in front of me at my desk too. That makes it easier. But having this like workstation, so I have this flat area, has definitely been helpful. All right, I did my 24 linen, and now I'm going to finish out with 5 terracotta. It's also right, it's just after 7:25, so I think this will probably be my last row for tonight. You guys will see me going live either later tonight or earlier tomorrow, so we can get this tested. We got to figure out why YouTube is not populating, or TikTok is not populating where it's supposed to go. All right, let's see. Writing is spun said I'm at 81 in a row. Oh, how did I miss that? I'm at 81 in a row. Well, I suppose I'll just pull this one a little too right. Just, yeah. I mean, when you end up with too many or too few, if you look at the work that you've done, like if this looks all normal, you can just add or reduce in the background where you need to. Probably no one will even notice. So, all right, guys, here we go. We finished out round 13. Let me recap round 13 for those of you watching later. That is 5 terracotta, 24 linen, 2 black, 18 terracotta, 2 black, 24 linen, and 5 terracotta. So through round 13, I'll get you at the bottom of this. Bottom of the little pot. So, all right, people, thank you guys for hanging out. Sorry again for the glitches. That's probably just going to be something I'm always going to deal with. Glitches like to find me, and that's just how it's going to be. So it was so great to hang out with you guys. Thank you so much for coming by, and I will see you guys tomorrow at the same time. And again, if you see me going live at an odd time, either later tonight or earlier tomorrow, much earlier than the thing, then just know that I'm just trying to make sure everything works. So thank you, Angel. You have a great night too. Bye, writing. Bye, Crafty Anna. Have a great night, guys.